Everyone, and welcome back. You're watching The Money Show on ET Now. We are talking about and addressing the personal finance challenges for entrepreneurs as well as small business owners. And like I said, you can connect with us by writing in on The Money Show at etnow.tv. That's our email address. Well, let's introduce another guest, a very special guest on the show. This is, to take forward our conversation with respect to personal finance planning for entrepreneurs. We have with us now Mr. Sunil Jhaveri. He's the founder of MSJ MisterBond Private Limited, a B2B platform for MFDs in Mumbai, in the mutual fund business. He's also the author of 2 books, a mentor and a coach. Mr. Jhaveri, it's a pleasure having you with us today on The Money Show. Many thanks for taking out time. So, Mr. Jhaveri, what do you think, or rather, let's start off with why. Why do you think that, firstly, personal finance planning is important for everybody, but do you think it assumes more importance for somebody who has a small business or is an entrepreneur or is a freelancer?
Absolutely. Most of the entrepreneurs think that their businesses is where they need to put their money, all eggs in one basket, so to say. And that's what the mistake which entrepreneurs make. Especially the smaller and the medium scale business houses, they need to be extremely careful. As they say in the Hindi, jitna ghee khichdi mein daloge utna kam hai. Your businesses are really
also depend, on the nature of your business. Mr. Jhaveri, this year, of course, has given all of us very, very stark lessons on the importance of ensuring that, you save for a rainy day, you have enough buffer. So, how do you think that entrepreneurs can plan for the inevitable rainy day? And I say inevitable because this is not the first crisis. This is unfortunately not going to be the last. So, how do you advise entrepreneurs to save for rainy days? All the
First and foremost, the entrepreneurs must understand 2 basic rules of investing. One is rule of 30-30, which not many people and not many advisors also talk about. A rule of 30-30 says you have 30 years of your professional life, and you have, which we call golden period, and 30 years of your retirement life, what we call golden years. And in those 30 years of your professional life, you have to achieve many goals and do many, many things so that, finally you have a peaceful retirement life. But if you take those 30 years lightly, you may or may not be able to retire also. And the second rule is create a second source of income, which Warren Buffett has also advocated. If you do not create a second source of income during your golden period, there will be times like, medical emergencies, there will be time like loss of job. There will be times like this pandemic and the lockdowns, and that means loss of business or loss of revenues also. And that's when you need to really depend on that second source of income for you to tide through. So the ideal solution is that second source of income should at least tide you through a year or 2 without any other sources of income, or if they start drying up.
What are the most common mistakes, Mr. Jhaveri, that you think entrepreneurs make when it comes to personal finance planning?
The common mistake is that they always think that, my business is the best business. Let me invest all my money into this business only. But they must understand that, wealth creation cannot happen overnight. So I have my own byproduct of your saving and investing habits. If you take that, if you do not have that saving and investing habits in place and you do not have that discipline, you cannot create wealth for yourself. You may not be able to meet many of your goals, and you may not be able to retire also, as I said in the beginning.
Yeah, retirement is something that, many times entrepreneurs just don't bother with. Budding entrepreneurs, Mr. Jhaveri, firstly, many a times, and in most cases, they usually are younger. So they firstly don't even have much experience first-hand dealing with money. And secondly, they do tend to spend every waking moment thinking about their business, thinking about new innovations, new ideas, etc. So all the more personal finance comes, it takes a back seat really. So what do you think can be an easy way for them, to sort of manage their personal finances?
Since you're an entrepreneur, you may not have a regular cash flow, and that's the reason why you may not be able to do systematic investment, which generally we identify and create a strategy for those who have regular income, salaried class, etc. But for entrepreneurs, they must understand that somehow or the other, you'll have to make provision for saving, provision for investing, and how will that happen? So I'll just give you a very unique concept. Treat your investment as your second child. If you have a first child and you're spending on, say, buying diapers for them, buying an Xbox, spending on their education, countries, but at least your second child, which is your investment, will stay with you forever. And that's how you slowly and steadily create wealth for yourself. As I said, SIP may not be a good option for entrepreneurs because of the mismatch of the cash flows. But a system like this, where if you're spending some money on your first child, immediately have the discipline of investing similar amount for your second child, which is your investments and your retirement kitty.
Well put, really. And yeah, I think that when you explain it that way, it's always sometimes much more easy as well for individuals to grasp. And I'm glad that you gave that recommendation when it comes to how entrepreneurs as well can manage their personal finances, because I think the one key difference for an entrepreneur is that they do not have a steady or regular stream of income that every month you get this fixed amount. So for such people, sometimes it gets easier because it's just simple ratios and math, right? You have this much money which you're going to put aside for expenses, X for luxury items, and then another amount for your investments and savings. But unfortunately for entrepreneurs, and especially for younger ones, it may not be that easy. Okay, Mr. Jhaveri, what would you say? And you brought up that point earlier as well, that everyone tends to, all these entrepreneurs tend to put in money in their own business rather than park it elsewhere or diversify, as we say. So for them, how would you how would you recommend essentially segregating what constitutes business income or business cash for business and cash for your personal use?
Sure. Many entrepreneurs, they want to copy the style of the big corporations, and they want to put everything into one basket, as I said, in their own businesses, because they think that they understand the business as well. Absolutely, I'm not disputing that at all. But there will be times like this COVID and the pandemic. This is, of course, first of its kind as far as our generation is concerned, and maybe hopefully for the future generations also, that this was a one-off kind of a case. But this should open their eyes, and this should make them think about why saving is important, why investing is important. Please understand that big corporations, they are borrowing money from banks and institutions. They have money which is coming from their shareholders, which is equity. But as a personal entrepreneur, individual entrepreneur, you don't have those luxuries of depending on somebody else's money for your own business. You will have to depend on your own money. So that's the reason why you need to segregate investments which are for business and investments which are for your personal finance. And that personal finance, see, money begets money. You're putting a lot of effort to grow your business so that you can live peacefully at some point in time in future. without worrying about earning that money. So if you don't make that money earn, the money which you've already earned through your business, if you do not make that money earn and sleep peacefully, then you've not done a good job as far as your personal finances are concerned.
Well, you've put it very well, Mr. Jhaveri, and I think some very important lessons as well for all of us to, really take away from. One, that entrepreneurs should not get obsessed with their own businesses, that they lose sight of their personal finances. The aim is really that you can retire one day, and that's really how you should go about when it comes to managing cash and your personal finances well. If you don't do that, you may really not be able to retire. You may end up working, all the way till 80. And then, of course, there's this whole bit on how you should approach investing. Usually, an SIP is recommended for those people with a regular, stream of income, etc. But obviously, an entrepreneur is very different. It's a totally different approach that Mr. Jhaveri would recommend for wealth creation and investment. And he's explained it very nicely, for all our viewers. Mr. Jhaveri, we'll let you go on that note. Many thanks for joining us today on the show, and breaking down all these points for our viewers.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on your show.
And if you would like to catch this entire interview, you can do so by logging on to ET Now's YouTube channel and find this entire conversation on the Money Show playlist. For now, we'll take a very short break.